We're looking down the barrel of your soldering iron by the look of it, Andy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to move it without getting it all tangled up in everything.
It's quite a spacey kind of a look to it.
Yeah, it was very Buck Rogers, that, wasn't it, for a minute there?
Yeah, exactly.
Very good, these Parkside soldering irons.
Yeah, I mean, Aldi and Lidl, their power tools are often surprisingly good, considering that they're buttons normally.
Yeah, this sort of analog one that is settable for the temperature. I got it maybe about a year ago, and it's been really, really good. It's been, because some of the power tools you get out of Aldi and Lidl are a bit rubbish, but this one has been surprisingly good.
Yeah, I've had pretty much good results with most of the things I've bought, really, to be honest.
And they had a digital version since, and I've got it, but I've not actually put it on and tried it yet. So I have to try the digital one. I've also got one of these 3-in-1 gas-powered ones.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they can be a bit too powerful.
Yeah. It might get a bit too hot, that one, but I'll have to give it a go. I bought it just in time before the lockdown, so
they've also got a useful hot air as well.
I think somebody else has joined us. I think Jess is here. Jess.
Hi.
Oh, she is.
I
Marvelous.
can't see any of you. Hello.
You can't see us. I can see you. You're frozen though, I think, at the minute. Are you tapping,
there we go.
Are you tapping things?
No.
I can. Yeah, I've got you now. Yeah.
Ah, hello.
Hello. It's probably just
you're mobile again. You're moving.
Excellent. It's probably just the internet. Everybody's hammering it, aren't they? I got 99 problems and Wi-Fi is one.
Yeah. Everybody's going for it today. Right.
How is everybody?
I'm okay, thanks. Personally, getting sort of used to it now.
Yeah. Well, I'm making booties out of socks that are too small. You're making booties? Yeah. So
have you got an announcement to make?
Oh hell no. My sisters have expecting, and some of my very good friends are too. So I thought I'd use up some of the millions of odd socks in my collection and bits of leather. So I'm making like little moccasin booties.
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got a box of stuff to mend as well, but I thought I'd start with this.
I thought you're repairing a pair of shoes with a bicycle inner tube the other day was quite good.
Oh yeah, I've done all the kids' shoes. It's just our shoes next.
Excellent. You need a bigger inner tube maybe for adult shoes.
Yeah, I've got an old car. Like I can't remember what vehicle it's from, but some cars used to have inner tubes as well as outer tires, and I've got one of those.
Yeah, I think they still put them in occasionally. If you go to a tire place, a puncture or something, I think, and they mend it, I think they still put an inner tube inside sometimes.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've certainly had inner tubes put in tires because they don't always seat on the rim. I've got an old Land Rover sat in the garage. It's been off the road for a few years, and the tyres don't seat very well on the rims because the rims are steel and a bit rusty and that. So they put inner tubes in that.
Got you.
So you can definitely still get inner tubes.
So I should go next time we go out to Derbyshire. I should have a call in at the Land Rover place maybe. See if they've got any.
Yeah, try your local tyre fitter. See if they've got any that they've took out, any old ones, because they probably have to pay to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I've ended up with loads of the bike ones because we've got a mate who runs Butterworths in what do you call it? Hillsborough. So I get loads.
Oh yeah, yeah. Excellent. Always use them. They're actually quite big a bike tie if you slit it lengthwise.
Yeah, and stretch it out.
They open out quite wide. Who's sending me messages? People keep sending me messages. They pop up on my phone, but they don't pop up long enough to read them. So
Morning, Jess.
Morning, Alan.
I thought you'd let your conversation about inner tubes get out of the way.
I know, sorry, we're wittering, aren't we?
No, that's not a problem. It's a repair thing. Gareth, you should have got an email from me with an attachment.
Okie dokie. Nice one. I shall send that charger your way. And sorry, I haven't actually been out to Nether Edge since, Jess, but I think I probably will later on this afternoon, so I might try and drop a memory stick through your door.
Woohoo! That would be excellent, but there's no hurry, so only when you're travelling that way, basically.
Yeah, well, I've got to come and feed the fish pretty soon.
Cool. You've got any clothes that need mending, you can drop them off and all.
Oh, that's fine. Can't think of any, actually. I think Anne's also on the case a bit as well. I've got your email, Alan.
Right. It's not true use of that label, but there you go. Needs must at this situation, otherwise we're doing that face to face.
Indeed.
That's it. Not a problem. I'm sure we'll cope.
Although it's pants that so many people are poorly, like quite on the positives of this situation, there's been so much creativity going on, and so much silliness. Like our road, everybody took the bins out in fancy dress on Monday, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And Lucian and Lester got really into it. They got dressed up in some of my clothes and silly wigs, and then we ended up doing a recreation of "I Want to Break Free" by Queen in our front room doing the hoovering.
Is there video?
There is. It's not for public viewing, but I'll put it on the Repair Cafe group.
No. Well, excellent. Even Alan's in video this morning. I'm well impressed.
How do you dress up a wheelie bin in fancy dress?
No, not somebody else did that actually. She understood dressing up as dressing up your wheelie bin and covered it in cool stickers. But no, people dressing up in fancy attire, taking the bins out and then giving all the bin men a round of applause as well.
Right, I thought, that sounds interesting, putting your wheelie bin in fancy dress. What can we make it look like?
Maybe that's next week's challenge.
I haven't got any blue paint to make it into a Doctor Who's TARDIS or any things to make it into a Dalek.
What's your wheelie bin? Morning, Ian.
Oh, he's connecting. He's wearing.
I think Ian is sort of with us. I think he's with us in spirit at the minute.
Yep. We've got rainbow flags, a rainbow flag out in the front garden, which I've just had to untangle from the telephone wire.
Excellent.
I don't understand this rainbow thing now. It's confused me now. Have all the NHS turned gay or something? Is that why we've now got rainbows for this?
I think it was an activity for children to do, weren't it? It was painting rainbows.
Just something bright and colourful, really, to cheer them up.
Don't know, because the last time I looked, rainbows were this LGBT sort of thing, and then rainbows suddenly started appearing literally everywhere.
And you thought, oh, blimey, everybody's coming out now.
Yeah, everybody's coming out all at once. Yeah.
It's a side effect of the vaccination, isn't it?
I suppose you can hear me.
Yeah.
We can
Ian,
hear
is
you.
that you?
Ian.
We can hear you, Ian.
Andy, I've got.
Yes, Ian, we can hear you. At least we could. Try again.
Oh, somebody didn't test their audio before connecting, did they?
You sound a long way away, Ian. You can't hear you at all now.
Dun, dun, dun.
Have you registered? Somebody's just said. I can hear somebody in the background.
Andy, don't suppose you can hear me. I can't hear anything from your end.
Ian,
Hello,
yes.
we've all been quiet, waiting for you to speak.
Yeah, yes, Ian, we can hear you.
No.
Can you type to him? Wait,
I wonder if he can see us.
hang on.
Yeah,
Hi,
you can start doing a chat.
Ian. We can hear you. Have
I can't really make out what he's saying.
you.
Yeah, he's quiet.
No.
There we go.
He's muted himself now.
I can't hear him though.
Can you
He's
hear a
very-
woman?
I can hear a very faint noise that might be someone talking down the bottom of the ocean through a string telephone, you know.
Yeah, it is faint, Gareth. Yeah, it is faint and it is muffled, but it's there.
Okay, well, you might have to relay anything he says then.
Oh, I can
Oh.
see him. It's just appeared with a sort of, with a little dog over his shoulder, I think.
Yeah, I can see the video. It's just frozen again though.
Did this with me though, didn't it? It takes a little while.
Yeah.
Hey!
It's moving. Morning, Ian. Oh, this is going so well as well.
Repair Cafe, troubleshooting Zoom every Saturday.
Yeah, the Repair Cafe have broken Zoom.
Were you saying you had a overheating computer, Andy?
Yes, yeah, I've had this computer that it's the one that actually came from the Repair Cafe. You know, the one that about the last Repair Cafe before we got locked down. That lady brought in. That I said, oh, that would be good for running this radio station software.
Oh yes, yes.
When I took the side off it, the CPU is passively cooled. It's got like a massive heat sink on it, you know, like layers and layers of, you know, finned heat sink. It almost goes to the other side of the case, the heat sink. It's almost the full width of the case. And the case hasn't got many holes in it, so it gets quite hot in there.
Right.
And it's also got a separate graphics card, and now it's also got a separate audio card in, because I wanted it, because I needed to put a special audio card in with a lot of inputs and a lot of outputs. So I put this special audio card in, and it seemed to be getting very hot. But yesterday I've run it without the side of the case on, and I've managed to get it working without the side of the case on.
Yeah, because I imagine you
Sorry,
want to.
Andy, I'm getting nowhere here.
Oh,
Oh,
we
dear.
can hear you, Ian.
Yeah, that came through relatively clearly.
That was better.
Can you hear us, Ian?
I don't think you can. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is it worth him signing out and signing back in?
Yeah. I think maybe it's more to do with the volume control on his computer or tablet.
Yeah. He needs to go to the left corner and test his speaker and microphone, I think. Go to...
No, if we can hear him, I think it means that his audio's being connected. It just you might want to turn up his volume, but Should I put that in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick it in a chat, Gareth. I can't do the chat thing because I'm on a phone, so it's difficult for me to do it. Oh, I can see him again now. I think he's on something that's quite low powered because it keeps freezing. So I think.
Oh, he's putting headphones in. Oh, hello, Ian. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us? No, I don't hear you yet.
Oh, something's happened there.
Oh, different headphones.
If you're
Hello.
still hearing me, I've just tried to plug in some headphones in, see if that would give me anything, but nothing. My
Yeah, we
volume
still-
is up at full.
Yeah, we can hear you
All
much
I can
better
hear
suddenly.
is switched on.
Yes, can you hear us?
But, still not hearing you at all.
Oh,
We're still hearing. You sound better now, Ian. Can somebody type and tell him that he sounds better?
I sent him a message to say turn up the volume, but I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, Jess has said it once. Says you sound better now. I've just seen
Yeah.
just come up.
So presumably on this PC, Andy, you want to keep the fans sort of to a minimum or keep them out really, even if possible, don't you?
Ideally, yes. The other option is to not have the PC tower in the studio and have very long leads on it. But I was wondering if that works, putting long leads on a PC. For instance, how long can a USB cable be before it stops working?
Off the top of my head, I think you can easily get 5 meters. You can get longer ones which have like little boosters in them. But also, you might even be able to get away with the Bluetooth keyboard and mouse going through a modest wall.
Yeah, Bluetooth's no good. Anything
Right.
wireless is no good because it can interfere with other things in
Got
a
it. Yeah.
in a studio environment. So everything needs to be wired, really. But
I would
that's
say nowadays you can get low enough power and low heat and silent sort of computers. But is it a low budget thing? Have you got to make do with what you've got with you now, sort of thing?
well, it's trying to keep the budget as low as we possibly can.
Sure.
If we have got to buy new ones, we've got to buy new ones. But it will be sort of a server and clients system. So the client that box, that computer that you saw, that one might end up being outside of the studio. That being the sort of server, if you like, and then the clients might end up being Raspberry Pis or something like that.
Yeah, brilliant. Yep.
Which of course would be silent.
Yep.
So it might end up that way, but I've just got round to sort of trying it. The software that it uses, a thing called Rivendell Radio Automation, from a company called Paravel Systems. It's free software. It's one of these companies that gives you the software for free, then charges you.
Shut down now. See if I can come back later. Try and sort something out.
Good luck.
Good luck, Ian. Yeah, I don't think he's quite got the setup right there. Yeah. This what was I saying? Yeah, this box might end up being the server, and then Raspberry Pis or something as the clients. But it's this Rivendell Radio Automation software, where it comes from a company called Paravel Systems in the States. And they sort of give you the software free, and then you pay for support if you need support. But you have to pay a lot of money for the support. It's very expensive. But the problem is they've just released Rivendell version 3, and I found a bug in it. When you come to scheduling music on the radio, it doesn't what they call segue transitions don't work in it. So I'm having to use version 2, not the latest version 3. And of course, I downloaded it all yesterday, took about 3 or 4 hours to do it. Realised I'd downloaded version 3, so I had to start again and download version 2.
Yeah.
But it is now theoretically, fingers crossed, working. So hopefully it'll be okay, and it will work. But it was getting a bit warm yesterday. I was fanning it. I got the side off the computer, fanning it to try and keep it cool with a sheet of A4 paper while we were while it was sort of loading up and that. But I think they'll be okay. I'm considering drilling more holes in the case.
You'd probably have to put a lot of holes in to make much difference to the actual amount of airflow.
Yeah. Or well, it's certainly better without the side on, without the side of the case on. It doesn't seem to have got many holes in it. It's only got like a little row across the bottom on one side of the case. There's none on the other side at all. There's none on the back except for the ones at the top that go straight into the power supply. Doesn't seem to be many holes in the case at all for airflow, considering it's a thing that's passively cooled.
Well, that might be a design feature. It might be that they're trying to sort of shape the airflow so it comes in, I think, to the power supply, and then if there's only holes in one part, then it would mean that there was a sort of flow of air going out, that out there. So maybe it's part of the design, is that the air comes in through the power supply and then gets pushed into the case, and then it has to leave just in one end, so it all sort of gets drawn along.
Yeah, so you think it sucks it in through the power supply, blows it into the case, and then out through the side of the case.
I think that's how it normally works, yeah. And the other thing is that it sounds like this would have been designed to be one certain way up to take advantage of like convection. So I just wonder if that makes any sense, and if there's I don't know how you've got it organized, but
yeah, up is up. It's a tower, so up is always up, sort of thing.
So, for example, are the fins on the heatsink going up and down when it's that way up?
The fins on the heatsink on the CPU are going up and down when it's whatever way up it is, because it's not a one-piece heatsink. It's like layers. It's like individual layers of metal, aluminium or steel or something. I'm assuming they're aluminium for a bit heat conductive. And then there's like copper pipes that go up through them all.
I know that's what you mean. Yeah.
Sort of hold them all together. So it's like made out of bits, all sort of pressed together.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it's massive. That it's so wide. It almost goes from the motherboard side of the case. It almost touches the other side of the case. It almost goes right the way across the case. It's huge. That is. And I think that would benefit from some air wafting past it, which it's
you can get very slow, very quiet case fans.
Yeah, that might be the thing. I've got various dead cases and computers and things around here, so I'll have to have a look, see if there's any fans in any of them that I can borrow and try it.
Frankenstein computers.
Hello, what's she doing?
I'm putting an inner sole in now.
Nah, you're a bit choppy.
Leather it's leather the outside sole and then felt to the inside sole. Make it nice and comfy. And when that's dried, I can turn it inside out again. See what I mean? So I've done the outer soles and then turn it inside out.
And are you using adhesive?
Yeah, just fabric glue. I'll do it. I'll stitch it as well, but it just it just helps. If any of the stitches get torn or anything, it just helps you sort of get it flat.
Uh-huh.
This is the second pair I'm on. The first pair weren't so good. I'm one of them. I don't follow other people's instructions. I just sort of work with what I've got and then try and figure it out. I'm not very good with, like when I'm cooking, I'm terrible at following a recipe.
I'm sure that's never dull.
The best way to do it is make it up as you go along. I mean, I can't read instructions either.
That's it. You just got to feel for it, haven't you, until it feels right.
When you get this modular put together furniture, I always get it together right, you know. Don't follow instructions, just put all the screws in the holes.
Yeah, if I try and follow instructions, there's always a screw left over at the end. I'm like, well, where's that meant to go?
So here's a challenge. Can
All right.
anybody read what voltage that says?
Down a bit.
Sit down a bit. Turn it. Twist it round.
Hold
Right,
it
down
down
a bit again.
bit flatter
Down
to
a bit again. And tilt it. Go up a bit.
up a tiny bit more,
Now,
and a little bit closer. Ooh, and
down a bit.
down a bit. Down just a tiny bit.
Right, hold it still.
$12 volts.
Well done, Gareth.
It's 12 volts, Alan.
Okay, so 12 volt, but the crucial bit, is it AC or DC?
DC.
Pooh, wrong one. I need an AC. Right, I'll dig another one out.
Depending on what it is, a lot of things that take AC would also take DC. But 12 volts DC might be a little bit rich for it. I don't know. But what is it for?
Right. It's a water feature. I can't find its proper transformer. I put a 12 volt battery on it, and it'd whir the pump and put 2 of the 4 lights on, one way around. Swap the polarity, it'd whir the pump a bit more and put the other 2 lights on. So to my equation, that needs to be AC.
That sounds absolutely logical. I think you've found one of the few things that does actually need the AC, because it's got, yeah, exactly like you said, the lights are on backwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Half the circuit's on one polarity.
Yeah.
The other half the circuit's on with the opposite polarity, and it spins for half a second or less.
Yeah.
Right. Here comes another one.
Down a bit. A bit to your left.
And turn it sort of flatter
Tilt it.
towards the camera.
Other way. Tilt it towards us. Oh, we're upside down.
Right. That way around then.
Yes, okay, a little bit to your right. Down a bit. Down a bit. Okay, hold it still.
Does it make it any bigger if I'm speaking at
That's
the same
12
time?
volts DC again.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, Alan. If you speak and the camera cuts to you on the full screen view, then yeah, it does make it bigger.
Okay, right. I'll rummage in my box.
Oh, are you guys doing it like that? I've got you all like a grid view of your.
Yeah, you can have it either way. What are you on, Jess? Are you on a computer? You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a grid view. If you, somewhere in the top right hand corner, I think, if you're on a computer, you can change the view so it like cuts between the different cameras.
Yeah.
It's a gallery view, ain't it, to see everybody, or a main screen view?
I like it like this.
I
And I
see.
can see you all.
The only problem with the grid, with the gallery, is that when new people join, it only puts 4 on a screen now. Oh no, if you're on a computer, it puts more than 4 on a screen, doesn't it? It'll put
Yeah.
as many on as you like on a computer. If you're on a phone, it only puts 4 on a screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got another one here now then.
Right, hold it still.
So, and I shall keep talking and
It's
tell me
out of
when it
focus.
needs.
Yeah, your hand is beautifully in focus. The thing is out of focus. I think you maybe need to hold it just about an inch further away. Right.
Okay, try.
AC
try.
to DC adapter. It says input 220. Down a bit, Alan.
6 volts DC.
No, that's no good then. Thank you. I've only got about 500 of these.
Keep going. We've got till next Saturday.
Have you got like a Braille dynamo labeler thing?
I've done that in the past with certain ones, but you know, because they're all textured casings and stuff, it peels off. And then when I have put labels over where it will stick, people say, can't read it because you put a Braille label on it. So, I don't think that one is. But I can't find its proper one. And I thought it was in the shed. And I've turned the shed upside down and can't find it nowhere.
Do you know what value it should have, Alan?
Yeah, it's 12 volt. Do you remember that pump?
AC.
Yeah, you know that pump you looked at when I said what volt it was a few weeks ago?
Vaguely, yeah.
It's
I've had
that.
a sleep since then.
So, but I was saying from a knowledge, I put a battery on it. And, well, first of all, it was a fixed plug. It's one of those 2-prong plugs what goes into the transformer, like my inflatable snowman and stuff. So I plugged it into one of the 12 volt ones from that, which I know they're DC because they'll run off battery, and they didn't work. So I thought, okay, let's try this a different way. I put a battery on it with its polarity one way around, we were saying earlier, and it lit 2 of the lights and spun the motor for a fraction of a second, turned the polarity the other way around, it lit the other 2 lights and spun the battery a bit more. So it's 12 volt AC, is my reckoning.
I'm going to have a look in my drawer a bit. 12 volt AC.
Yeah.
That'll be quite rare, 12 volt AC. 12 volt DC is reasonable, but 12 volt AC will be rare.
Yeah, but I know I got one because that's how I fried my carousel, didn't I? I put that on a AC instead of a DC voltage.
So you're looking for 12 volt AC.
I am.
I'm just going to deal with a friend calling. Just 2 seconds.
Okay. I haven't got any up here. I've got bags and bags of transformers and things.
Yeah, I've got boxes, but some I've got. The value is only actually in the plastic, I think. I'm not going to show it very well on the camera where the ones I've been showing.
Oh, that's full of telephones.
So what if it the AC? It's always just on that back of it.
Don't know.
So okay, switching adapter. Model. Oh, hello. It says here on this plug output 12 volts, 2 amps. I can't find AC or DC. Actually.
Sometimes I think it's represented by a little symbol, but I don't know what the symbol would be to tell somebody.
Ah. All right, I'll keep looking.
Well, it'll be finished when it's finished.
This will be an interesting one.
Well, actually, I'll leave now.
Everybody's run off.
No, I'm still here.
I'm still
right.
here.
Oh.
Looking in my drawer of bits. Oh, you're holding another plug up.
I'll do it, Jess. Carry on.
Bumpity bumpity bum bum bum.
Hello.
I'm here.
Keep talking, because then it'll keep the
Yeah,
camera
yeah.
on you. Hold it. Tilt it top towards the camera a bit.
Okay, we'll go like that, and then
Output AC 110 volts, 45 VA, whatever that is. So output's 110 on that.
yeah. Well, this is an
Down a
American.
bit with it.
This
Down a
is
bit.
an American transformer.
Input up a
Oh.
bit.
Which way a bit?
Stop there. Input
Okay.
230. Output up a bit
Yeah.
and
Keep
left a bit.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
to
right a bit.
plug
Sorry.
American devices into European
Yeah.
sockets,
But
isn't it?
that was only using low voltage.
Well, 110.
Well, yeah. All right. Okay, that one's not. I didn't think it would be, but there we go. Anyhow.
Where have I put them all? I thought I brought some up here. Just bear with me a sec. I'm just going to mute myself a minute because I'm going to be noisy.
Right. Because
Nah, no joy. You know
no
what's
joy.
really annoying me though? Adam sorted out our my collection of random electrical bits last week, and he threw out a load of stuff because he was like, "Nobody's got a use for this," and I was like, "Yeah, but it's for some old fairy lights from my granddad's old Christmas tree," and I bet it would have worked.
Yeah, you never know. You never
But the
know.
bins have been now, so it's gone.
Yeah.
However, my office does all fit into a corner now rather than a corner and half a bookshelf and loads of boxes of random stuff. So
Yeah, it might have to wait until we get a real. Oh, this one might work. It's got a plate on it as opposed to just molded in the plastic.
Lift it up a little bit,
Any better?
down slightly,
Down a little bit. Fine. We can go there.
tilt it top towards us slightly.
Okay, that way.
Hey,
this works well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Going this.
Down slightly.
Okay, we're down.
Right, stay there.
I'm
Keep
there.
still.
I'll try and hold it and keep talking so you can see me.
Oh, it's tiny, this writer tin.
It's only a little plate on it.
Yeah.
Down a little tiny bit.
Okay, fine. But there we go.
I can't read that.
Okay,
That's very hard to read. Yeah.
no problem.
Sorry.
All right, well, thank you. Hey, at least it works for some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I've got another box as well. We might have to wait. Might have to wait until the curfew's over. But we got one water feature working, and some of the all the lights working in the garden.
Ooh la la.
And the new turf is down.
Ooh.
So it's coming together. Oh, Sandra says to tell you that the turf is thrown down.
Our grass seed is vaguely raked in.
Right. Well, what we decided for a number of reasons, we were going to try AstroTurf, partly because of Darcy, partly because Sandra wanted to have instant grass and stuff. But we put it down because we rotivated the whole garden, and it's just like really friable dust, and the slightest breeze, it was blowing muck everywhere. but we still need it to settle, even though I've rolled it. Somebody's
Hi, Gordon.
Hello.
Oh,
Gordon.
he's squeaking like he was last week.
Yeah. Is it squeaky? It's other people don't hear us squeak.
Well, we all
Yeah, we definitely do.
turn your volume down a bit.
It's right down. I can hardly hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not that, it's something else in it. What are you actually using there, Gordon? It's
But
a
it's-
computer,
but it's-
isn't it?
Has that changed?
No.
The microphone is over-modulating, isn't it? So is the microphone volume one turning down?
Do I come across quite loud then?
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
fairly, yeah.
You're booming and distorting on your top end.
Right. Hang on. Find the settings.
So the AstroTurf is down just like a rug at the minute to keep some of the dust down. But now it's raining, so we can start to settle it.
Ooh. And it's having a wesh at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's how, Sandra's already been out there hoovering the decking.
Amazing. Oh, I wish my dad still. He did this job for I think it was the Olympics ages ago, and they got all this coloured AstroTurf. I wish I still had some of that. It was brilliant, like bright pinks and purples.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was he one of the people that pinched the AstroTurf after the opening ceremony? There were people
He
like
just-
walking
he never
over and
pinched
rolling.
his stuff. He just recycles it.
I was
3 a.m. at the back of a lorry.
I've been looking at AstroTurf online and trying to tell Sandra that we wanted some pink or some turquoise or white or black. And she said, no, I want green. I said, it's a talking point, us having a pink lawn.
Hmm.
Yes, it'll be a talking point, all right. I'll give you that.
And then this adds into another thing because they were making fun of me on Wednesday at the model engineers thing, telling me that it should be the green side up. So I said, does that mean the fluffy side should point up? Because, and this is the thing with the camera, I bought this camera and it's got a little bit, a hingy bit and a big bit and a wire coming out of the big bit. So I thought, oh, the big bit is going to be the base to weight it down. Thinking the little bit is a camera, and they're only saying it's all dark, it's all dark. And I put the camera the wrong way around.
Amazing.
No, the big bit's the camera, the little bit's the clawy thing that holds the camera onto the top of your monitor, probably.
Yeah. Well, I'd Velcroed it into that beam. You know where the lamp goes across, Andy? I'd Velcroed it into that beam. And I Velcroed the lens of the camera up. They say, no, it's only black. It's only black. We can't see anything.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Right, does that sound any better, folks?
Marginally. We'll cope with it.
It was better though.
Yes.
Definitely, you're definitely not booming as much, and that Tweety thing is not as bad.
It's toned down a bit.
I'll keep doing that.
I think what it is, Gordon, because I've got one that does similar on my main computer, and I think what it is, if you've got a mono microphone that is plugged into a stereo socket on the back of your computer, it does this. You know
what's
the
the solution then? What do you have to do?
Is it plugged into? Is it a USB mic, Gordon, or is it an analog one that goes
It's a
into a round
USB
socket?
mic.
It's a USB, so it's not an analog one.
It's a separate camera and microphone combined that sits on top of the monitor because the monitor doesn't have built-in audio.
Right. Well, it shouldn't do.
Has it
that.
got in the settings? Has it got a boost option? Some microphones have like a checkbox where you can boost the microphone. but that might be causing problems for us. So have you had a look in the settings, and is there anything like that?
Hey, folks,
You'll think. Ian, you're back.
can I say good morning? Yes, I would. I can hear you now.
Ah, excellent. Hi, Ian.
Well, good
Hello.
morning to all. And I've been listening to the last bit of conversation there. Gordon sounds absolutely fine to me. It's sort of booming out for everybody else.
It was quite loud. It wasn't mega loud, but it was quite loud. The problem is, it's got interference. It's got some very high pitched interference on there. That's the problem that we've got at the minute.
Can you hear me now?
Just
Yeah, you're very quiet now, Gordon.
Right. How's that?
Lovely.
but we've
Better.
also got the background noise as well. Is the microphone plugged into a hub, or is it going straight to your computer?
It goes. It's USB, so it goes into a USB socket on the back.
Of your computer directly?
Yes.
Right.
I think it's might be just a faulty microphone.
Or is it USB? I'm trying to think. I can't remember, to be honest. It's been stuck in the thing for years.
I have a feeling it's not USB. I have a feeling you'll find it goes into a little round port on the back of your computer. And what you'll find is the microphone is analog, and the port it's going into will be a stereo port. It'll be either green or pink, the port on the back of the computer.
It's normally pink for microphone, green for headphone.
I can't imagine this is relevant, but Gordon sounds absolutely fine. I can't hear interference. The only bit I can add is that the sync seems to be out. So his lips are moving way out of sync with the sound. Whereas all you others, Andy, Gareth, you seem to be in sync.
Yeah, I think some of it's still connecting on. I don't think you're getting a true picture of it, Ian, because I think your connection is quite bad. Because the frame rate of your connection, I'm only seeing about a couple of frame updates per second from you, Ian. So I think your internet connection is playing up a bit.
All right.
Well, this chat is really motivating me to fix things. You might all be interested to know I've just picked some bogies off the eldest boy's trousers while I'm patching them up.
That's
Delightful.
nice.
Yeah. He told me that he eats them all. Little fibber.
He eats them all.
Yeah.
He obviously doesn't eat all of them because of some of his
No.
trousers.
Saving that for later, clearly.
That's nice. Jess,
Right, just get it on, Glenn.
Jess,
Now.
I've got a question for you, Jess.
Oh, aye.
Do you know what any of these are in here? Can you see that?
Lift up the paper thing.
No, which way do I go? That way.
Ooh. Are they different sorts of feet?
The sort of things that attach somewhere along the line. Obviously, the screwdriver in the top there, but what the hell do they do?
I think that's part of an overlocker.
No, it can't be an overlocker. It's for a normal sewing machine, I think. I don't.
Yeah,
think
but you can buy it. I don't know. Without playing about with it, I'm not entirely sure. Sorry.
The little oval piece next to the screwdriver. Well,
That
just
bit.
under your fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
screwdriver there. The next bit in the lid there, which is behind your fingers at the moment.
That bit.
No, other way. To your right. Keep going to your right. That's it, that bit there. My wife's
Yeah.
just been using one as a button holder on a sewing machine. See?
This thing is a
Yeah.
buttonhole, you reckon?
Well, just let me call Jackie. Jackie! Andy, show
Yeah.
us that piece again. That's a button holder.
What?
Just turn it flat. That's right, and then turn it round. No, it isn't.
Is it not?
No.
Oh. Andy's asking what this toolkit's for. Ooh. There is a screwdriver, there's a...
I think that bit, actually, I think that one that I've got there somehow connects to that one when you use it, I believe. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, thought it might be an overlocker.
I've got
I
my-
wondered if it belonged. Yes. I wondered if it's an overlapping toolkit.
By the way, this is my wife, Jackie. Can I introduce
Hello,
her?
Jackie.
Let me go.
Morning,
Oh,
Jackie.
yeah. Let me go get my instruction book and I'll just see if I can recognize anything.
I don't even know it was in the tin now.
Don't get rid of it anyway. When we get physical cafe back up and running, I bet that'll fit perfectly with somebody's old machine.
Right.
Oh,
I've-
no. Well,
You're old machine central here, so
Yeah, true.
I don't believe this. Yeah. I've now lost video, Andy.
oh well, we're still here. I can still see you.
we've,
Have you pressed
That's
something?
most disconcerting.
we've got a blank screen.
You've got a blank screen.
I bet there's something with the buffering speed and things because his audio keeps breaking up as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, your internet connection is very bad, Ian, I think.
All right.
Is your internet
we've got-
talk or utility warehouse, perhaps?
I don't know what that is.
Who's your internet provider? And we'll know not to have them.
It's Sky.
It's Sky. Oh, well, there you go. You're saying.
I think it's more to do with where we sat in the house.
Oh, if you're on Wi-Fi, yeah, you might have that issue with it if you're on Wi-Fi. Right.
Not
Let me
the energy.
straighten myself up again.
So I've got another transformer here.
Oh, aye.
Right. So up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards.
Back a
Down
bit.
Down a bit. Okay.
to
Right.
your left.
My left. That's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Down a bit more. Left a
Down
bit
more.
Down. Oh, okay.
more. Upside
Down a
down.
bit more.
Upside down.
I think so.
Okay. Try again. This is probably a 12-volt one. It's the AC/DC bit.
Down a bit, Alan.
Down a bit. Okay.
Down a bit. To
Keep
your
going.
left a bit.
Left a bit.
There. Fire. Speak now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
DC something. DC.
It's DC again, right? Hey ho. And I think
They'll
others are in.
almost all be DC, I think.
Yeah, but I know I had one, but I think I've still got some more in the loft. But right, and I must have got the actual proper one for it somewhere. But there you go.
It's 12-volt AC you want, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
I've got bags and bags and bags of them, but none up here, which is amazing because you want to see the amount of stuff up here at the minute that is being sorted through. It is phenomenal, the amount of stuff that's here.
You talking to the right crowd.
Yeah. I started the computer repair workshop partly to clear my cellar of computer stuff.
If you, I'm going to take you off this stand a minute.
Tell you what, though, I'm finding it quite handy having an attic full of scraps and crafty stuff, because all my neighbours with kids are running out of things to do with them. So I'm like swapping craft stuff to random stuff.
Yeah, it's handy. It just gets in the way. I don't know if you can see all this lot here at the minute.
Oh my days! Wow,
Andy,
impressive.
Andy, just to go back, that sewing machine thing,
Yeah,
my
hang
wife
on.
just an article.
This, yeah.
Hang on. Can you see this one?
Right, hang on, let's have a
Got
look.
a little
I'm just having a look. I'm just cutting to you. Yeah.
Keep
Right,
talking,
hold
Ian.
it up again.
It has a, this is Jackie now, it has a little screw nut underneath it as well, but it actually says in my book it's an accurate seam guide.
Hold it a bit more in front of you, Jackie. You're off the camera with it.
Where am I? You just stop moving the computer. Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's that bit, and it's got a. Oh, right. Well, now. Yes.
got it.
Yeah, because various things have got screws in them that I've got here. So I wonder if you take the screw out of one thing and put it. Oh, I've got a big screw that is loose and on its own as well. So
Right, well, it fits in the little channel.
yeah, it probably would. No,
And it's called an accurate seam guide.
so it'd fit in
That's it, yeah.
in there like that, wouldn't it then?
Yes, that's it.
Oh, so as you're sewing with that then, so it's that way around as it's sat in front of you, and there's a hole in the bed of the machine. I know there's a hole in the bed of the machine. So that fits in the hole in the bed of the machine, and then your material would go there, wouldn't it? And
Right.
butt up against
I don't
that.
know if you can see on the book, but it's that one in the middle there,
Yeah, yes, exactly, yeah.
and it
Yeah.
goes in sideways.
Yeah, got it. Yeah,
As you can tell, I've never used it.
got it. We've worked out what that one is then.
I'll leave Ian with the book. I've nothing as complicated as the rest of your stuff. Mine's an owner.
Yeah, I've no
But
idea
Ian,
what that one is.
I'm just making little clothes out of curtains because I've run out of fabric.
All right.
I'm doing Julie Andrews, Sound of Music.
Excellent. Lederhosen next week, yeah?
Oh, I don't know. I upsized the pattern because it was too small for her, but actually I've seen the pictures of it this morning. I think I've over-upsized it. She looks like Orphan Annie. So it's coming back for some alterations. But I needed to play, and I've got lots of old curtains, so that's what we're using.
Sounds good to me.
I'll leave you with that in case there's anything
Well-
else in there that you want to show us.
When all this lockdown thing is over, there's going to be a lot of people with a beautiful garden and no spare fabric left at all.
Yeah, and all the shops will be sold out of all the interesting things.
The shops are all sold out of all the interesting things now, yeah.
I've
I
been
can
trying
still
to
get tablet.
I've been trying to get some self-leveling compound and some more concrete blocks. They ain't got any.
Well, why? They shouldn't be in short supply. It's not like toilet rolls or anything, is it?
People are doing loads of DIY though, aren't they?
I think because there's only certain DIY suppliers, like for example, Arnold Laver's been shut down for 3 weeks, not doing anything.
Well,
They're
they should be
opening.
closed. They've got no excuse to be closed. They're not on the list of things that should be closed.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're opening up next week for collections only. They're not doing any deliveries. So big lumps of timber. Loads of other builders merchants, Paget's for example, are fully booked up for deliveries for the next 3 weeks. And then others, they've just not got any stock and they're not open.
You have to get skip diving then, Ellen.
Yeah. How do I get it home? And where's my skip? And has it got Corona in it? And I need 50 blocks the same.
Yeah,
But there you go.
that one will have to go on hold then, eh?
It will. Yep.
Well,
but-
if it's something that's been in there for that 48 hours or 72 hours to be on the very safe side, then it can't have coronavirus anyway because the whatever it is. I'm wanting to say it dies, but it doesn't die because it's not something that's alive in the first place. But it sort of, you can't get it off of something after sort of 72 hours.
Yeah. Only thing is, I've not seen any skips on this estate. Well, I have. I've seen one ages ago. It's not a sort of thing where we have skips round here. We're posh.
Maybe we just don't throw anything away around there.
Yeah, I think I said last week that the figures are, the stuff has a half-life, and the figures are based on a residue of 1/1000th of the original amount. So after 72 hours, there's 1/1000th left. So, which won't be very much in a normal environment.
No. So about 72 hours, and you're more or less safe then, aren't you? So, sort of thing.
I would still suggest that you wash your hands afterwards, and certainly we do. If we go out of the house, we wash our hands and we come back in.
I've never washed my hands so much in all my life. In fact, I'm starting to think I need to wash them a bit less because I don't normally have dry hands, but I have at the minute.
We've got self-moisturising soap.
Self-moisturising soap.
Yeah, it's Pears. You know, the old-fashioned semi-translucent soap.
Oh, I love the
Marvellous
smell
stuff.
of that stuff.
It tends to fall to bits rather quickly because of the moisturiser in it. But it's very nice.
Oh, I've not seen any of that. That sort of
Like orangey,
golden sort of
translucent.
colour. Yeah.
You can get lots of different colours. We've got it colour matched with our new kitchen, turquoise.
Of course you have.
So you've got colour coordinated
tip,
soap.
You know when you sew in, so get your finger, wrap the thread loosely around your finger, and then roll it down. Won't do it now because I'm trying to show you. If you struggle to tie knots in thread, this is like a little tip, and then you roll it off your finger, and then pull. You've got your knot.
I don't struggle to tie the knot. I struggle to thread the bloody sewing machine. If you could tell me how to get a thread through a needle of a sewing machine,
You
that'd be
need
marvellous.
one of these. Hang on, I'll show you.
You're going to come out with them little wiry things now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you've got to get that through the doodah of the sewing machine.
Well, they're easier to see. Oh, they must be in my big sewing box.
They are a bit easier.
I can't remember what they're called in English. In Spain, they call them Saint Patricia's.
Needle threader.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. That makes sense.
A needle threader. Yeah, because a lot of them have like a picture of a saint or something on them.
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah.
A bit. I thought it was Saint Christopher, but it might not be. It might be.
No, that's the one you have on a chain. That's for health. Santa Teresia.
Yeah, I've had messages from Mariam earlier, Jess. She's out walking today.
Oh, she's going bananas. They're loads stricter on the in Italy. Loads stricter.
Yeah, well, I think they're releasing it now. I think they're starting to let it off a bit now in Italy. A lot of shops and that are open again now in Italy.
That's good.
So, but she's coming back. You know, she's coming back.
Yeah.
So that'll be marvelous. I said to her, "Are you really sure you want to come back at the moment? Do you know what's going on? Because she'll like go through it all twice if she sort of comes back relatively soon, won't she? Because we'll still have it and she'll have got rid of it, sort of thing."
Yeah, but at least she'll be in a community where she's got things in common with people rather than being stuck in student dorms where, like, she's in this tiny little box and
Yeah.
they're all a lot younger and they've not got very much in common. So there's no interaction. You know, like we're interacting online, aren't we? But and there's lots. And she said, you know, when people do go out, they're scared of each other. Whereas here, it seems a lot more like, you know, waving across the street and like we're still adhering to distancing, but people are being friendly about it.
I'm running away from people. I'm going.
Just start coughing, they'll run away from you.
Back, unclean, back. That's what I'm doing. I have finally got an excuse for crossing the street to avoid people. So yeah, but yes, so she's coming back soon. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
So marvelous.
What have you been mending then, Gordon? Anyway, out and out.
What is it? Yesterday I fixed the loose taps on the wash hand basin in the bathroom, and I took it to bits and I thought, was it really me that assembled this 10 years ago? It's no wonder it's come loose, but it was me that did it badly, so I've done it properly this time and they should stay tight for the duration.
Ah, well done.
But they came with those plastic nuts that you put underneath, and you can't get them really tight with them. So I replaced those with brass ones.
Oh, that's good to know. We need to do our bathroom taps.
I'm just reading a thing on your wall.
You need to put soft washers in between the metal and the ceramic.
Oh, so it kind of...
So it grips.
Grips, yeah.
Because the ceramic's not completely flat. So it won't tighten well unless you've got soft washers. You can get them from whoever's open.
Top tip, thank you.
Gordon,
yeah.
What's that pattern on your wall, just over your shoulder there, near the bottom? It's sort of a black lines with a yellow and a red and a blue squaring up.
That's Mondrian.
Mondrian?
Yeah, Mondrian. Famous artist who we're big fans of. We've got a giant one on the wall, 4 foot by 3 foot as well. Not the same pattern, but a different pattern.
I'm sure you used to be able to get like mugs and Formica with that on and stuff in the 60s.
You certainly did, yes.
Yeah, I think I had a coffee mug or something with it on, or maybe even a set of coffee mugs with it on. I thought it looked familiar.
Yeah. So I like to surround myself in my study with nice things to look at. Although I don't get to look at those ones because I'm looking the other way.
Yeah, you pointed
an equally vast array of things in the direction in which I'm looking as well, behind the screen.
All right. I've got a vast array of things here, but half of which I probably shouldn't be looking at, really. Loads of stuff.
Do the phones work, Andy? The dial-up ones?
Most of them, yeah. Sounds like somebody's typing.
Yeah, sorry, that's me.
Oh, it's you, is it? You've got a typewriter there?
No, it's an old-fashioned mechanical keyboard. So it feels it's a lot nicer to type on than a sort of modern scissor key.
I love how you're calling that old-fashioned, Gareth.
I have one of them as well. They're much nicer to use.
Yeah,
I
there's
thought all
the
keyboards were like that.
inside is like 40 years old or 50 years old or something.
It
If I could
sounded like
connect one of them up to my granddad's mobile phone, he'd be so happy. He's like, you can't get buttons anymore.
Yeah,
it
it's true.
sounded like a proper mechanical typewriter smacking the keys.
Clickety clack.
Yeah.
It's the especially clicky version.
Ah.
Because although it's annoying for other people, it gives your brain feedback, and you, without really thinking about it, it just makes typing a bit easier.
Yeah.
But it is a bit annoying for people who aren't you typing.
Ah. I thought all keyboards were like that, except for really, really cheap, nasty, rubbery ones, like Sinclair ZX Spectrum keyboards.
Well, the truth is the cheap ones have got a lot better. They used to be kind of nasty, and now they're kind of acceptable.
Yeah, the nasty rubber Sinclair keys. Can you remember that?
Oh God, yeah, they were all so bad.
It's like trying to type on a calculator.
My first computer was a ZX80, which was the first one, or one of the first ones Sinclair did, and it didn't even have the bad keyboard of the Spectrum. It had a completely flat membrane that gave you absolutely no sort of feedback.
Oh, yeah.
The keys were
yeah,
also
white
quite
one,
difficult.
wasn't it? White one,
Yeah,
black
exactly,
writing.
yeah. It's fantastic design. It looked like something out of 2001, you know, but the keyboard was absolutely appalling to use. And the thing only had like 1K or something. It was, I started typing in a program, and you know, I was only like 8 or something. So I didn't have long to get bored. But before I got bored typing it in, the thing had run out of RAM.
Yeah. It turns out what you should have done, Gareth, when you got that in the early 1980s, what you should have done, instead of putting your money in the bank, you should have bought a lot of those. Because now they're worth far more than they were when they were new.
I don't know whether it's
Apple IIs would
worthwhile.
have been good, yeah.
Hello? Ian sort of came and went again there.
Yeah, well, I'm used to programming computers with tiny amounts of memory because I've been doing it since 1971. Or I was. I don't do it anymore.
I didn't think we had any memory in 1971.
They did have computers in 1971, yes.
Yeah, but not with any memory in. I thought it was all like paper tapes and things going through. And
No, they still had
I
memory.
thought you were referring to just too much fun times in 1971. Didn't think anybody had any memory in 1971.
it was,
All the
yeah,
haze.
that as well, yeah. I hadn't thought of that. Were those computers the size of a house then, Gordon?
They were, yes. The first computer I worked on for money had a 0.5 megabyte of memory altogether, which sat in a box the size of a washing machine and cost £500,000.
Wow.
Crikey. So far less powerful than your phone is now.
Yes.
That's crackers.
It was £500,000 in 1971.
That was just for the memory. I don't know how much the whole thing was together. The whole office floor's worth of big boxes.
No,
Technology's
crikey.
moved so fast in the last 40 years, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, there were some computers were massive, weren't they? I was watching a thing on YouTube the other day, The Birth of Basic, about how BASIC language came about, and that was quite good for computer people, and that sort of how they started with the BASIC language. And people don't program computers anymore, do they? People don't actually write code and that anymore. At least most people don't.
No, I do.
Yeah, I think you might be the exception to the rule, though.
No, the lockdown, one of the lockdown activities of one of our friends and neighbours is to teach himself Python. And he's already wrote a poker playing game.
In Python?
In Python, yes.
Crikey. I'm well out of it. I used to write stuff in BASIC and that, but I've not sort of carried it on. When we went to PCs and that, you see, you don't have to program a PC to use it. When you have things like Sinclair ZX81s and Commodore VIC-20s and C64s and stuff like that, basically to use them, you pretty much have to program them, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was a big part of it. But now we have PCs. Most people that use a PC never think about any coding, do they? They just buy whatever software they want or download whatever software they want and use it. So people don't code now like they used to. But you used to have to code it because half the time software didn't work. Particularly if you typed it in out of one of those stupid magazines and you typed about 10 pages of gumph out of it, and then it comes syntax error. No! Those were the days.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've got a Commodore 16 up here somewhere, in amongst all this pile of stuff. I think there's a Commodore 16 somewhere. Because there was a time when you could go and like buy them off the market for 50p and that on from car boot sales because nobody wanted them. And now they're sort of worth something again now, sort of retro.
No, what I don't like about programming these days is this. It reminds me of what you were saying, Gareth. There's no physical feedback. I much prefer working with wood and metal because you're feeling it and you feel more engaged.
Yeah, I mean, I think I went into electronics for quite a few years, and one of the things that I really love about it is that after sort of playing around with computers for years, suddenly things actually really happened. You know, when you made them happen, even if it was simple as a light coming on the other side of the room, or a fan, or something, switching something on, or you know, it's this kind of magical ability to make things happen in the world, and it somehow changing things on a computer screen just doesn't quite cut it. You know, no matter how hard you've worked and how clever you've been making something, it's less satisfying than making a loaf of bread for me.
Yeah, I had to mend our solar-powered pond pump. It sounds a bit grand. The pond is a Belfast sink. We've only got a tiny garden, and it fills a bucket with water. And when the bucket's full, it switches the pump off and drains the pump. And then there's a basic latch, but it's a relay latch. It's not an electronic one. But because all the bits are outdoors, they've kind of suffered over the last 5 years. So I've completely replaced the junction strip, barrier strip, which was the nearest thing to a circuit board the whole thing had. But it was very satisfying getting the thing working again.
Yeah, I've just thought of something. Bear with me while I have a rummage for something. Talk amongst yourselves for a bit.
Did a really cool project with Lucian a little while back, where she made like a little. Well, she got him to design like a program and she had a sensor in a plant pot, so he was monitoring the plant. So he was engaged with the sort of tactile and nature part of it, but then things that he was doing on the screen were connected to that. It was like a real thing, which was really nice. Because he's interested in biology and soil and plants, but also really interested in technology. And eating bogies.
Well, I mean, the good news is that it's a bit of a golden age, and now for literally pocket money, you can pick up little chips and little sensors and make your own little websites and things. And it's all, there's beautiful tutorials that will take you through it step by step, and you know, it really is much easier just to pick these sort of things up and play with them. And so I've always missed the fact my daughter was never into this sort of thing. You know, I was thinking, we'd be doing loads of fun sciencey projects as you know, and she was never interested in it at all. If Dad was interested in it, then it was boring, you know. So I'll just have to wait for the grandchildren.
Talking of strange things you made that are not computerized, I created this. Alan will know all about this. This box. I made a electronic donation box that could turn on and off 12-volt things. Because Alan's got some little sort of 12-volt trains and things that run around a little track and that. And we made this box so that you could put a coin in the box and it would turn the trains on for a given amount of time.
Oh, cute.
And I don't know if you can see inside there, but it's all it's all relays and things. It's come a bit unglued, but it's all sort of automotive relays and stuff. That bit should be sort of up there somewhere, like that side of that one.
Have you seen The Secret Life of Machines? That TV series?
I have, yes.
Is that the thing that was on Channel 4 many, many years ago? With,
yeah, it was like Tim Hunkin or something like that.
Tim Hunkin, yeah. Now,
because that really reminds me, he did things very, very similar to that, and it's just it's got the same sort of look as well. Amazing.
Yeah. I actually refound that program not long ago because they're all on YouTube.
It's one of my favourite programs of all time. There's just something so magical about those programs. They're just really works of art, I think.
Right, we need to have a day out then when this job has when this coronavirus job has done then, Gareth, because Tim Hunkin, or whatever, I think it is Hunkin, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
He now is it Southwold?
It is Southwold. We go regularly to Southwold, and we always go to the pier, and we always marvel at his marvellous machines.
That's it, isn't it? The Under the Pier show. It is Southwold, is it, Gordon?
Yes, it's Southwold.
Oh, that's absolutely on my bucket list. That and the Northern Lights. I think this is
Southwold is also the home of Adnams Brewery, so you can enjoy and drink while you're there as well.
Oh, now I'm interested.
Yeah, I've been there as well. I've been to Adnams as well. I was amusingly went on a coach trip there to Adnams Brewery.
You went on a coach trip? Yeah,
to Adnams Brewery. I was only going there from Carlton Culver, which is just down the road. It's a long story. And and one of the people on the coach was desperately ringing round to try and find a pub in Southwold that sold something other than Adnams, because he didn't like Adnams beer.
Well, I'd definitely love to go on an away day. That's a great idea.
Yeah, a trip to see the Under the Pier show. There is video of it on YouTube somewhere. If you search Under the Pier show Southwold, there is like video of it. And the walking your dog arcade machine and things like that. I think you can go on a virtual holiday as well. I think there's a virtual holiday machine where you sort of sit in an armchair in front of an old-fashioned TV with an aspidistra on top of it, and you put a coin in the slot, and then the TV sort of shows you a picture of a runway, like from the front of an aeroplane taking off, and then the whole thing tips back as if you're on the plane and that, and then it lands. It tips forward and lands, and then there's like a heat lamp above your head that comes on to make you think you're on the beach. And strange things like that. Sorry?
Like a like 4D cinema, but better.
Yes, yeah. It has to be. Search it out on YouTube. The Under the Pier show at Southwold. It's absolutely unbelievable. He sort of cannibalised all old pier arcade machines and various other bits of junk, and made these very strange these very strange arcade machines like you've never seen anywhere else in the world. It's quite something to
Did
behold.
you do something with Victorian like bathing things? Oh gosh, you know those sort of huts that they'd wheel onto the beach.
Bathing machine.
Southwold is famous for having beach huts which you can buy. I think they sold one a couple of years ago for £120,000 for a thing smaller than an ordinary garden shed that you're not allowed to sleep in. But once you've been to Southwold, you'll find the attraction of the place. It's utterly magical.
Yeah, it's one of those strange places. There's a place very similar up Tyneside way. What the heck's it called? Can't remember the name of the place, but it's
Whiteley
got a
Bay?
Sorry?
Whiteley Bay?
No. Try again, Gordon. Try another one. It's south side of the Tyne, I think. And it's a seaside place. It's got one of these cliff lifty funicular type jobbies.
Guys, I've got to say, I'm really liking how this is just like Repair Cafe. Like, ignore the punters, just chat. Yeah, I know, but you know, they're like an extra thing, aren't they? We just get together and chat rubbish while we're tinkering with things.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I've got plenty of rubbish. You want the next bit of rubbish?
Go on then.
Next bit of rubbish is a sound-powered telephone.
A pardon?
A sound-powered telephone.
Do you have to shout into it to listen?
It's the
How
next
does that
thing.
work?
It's the next thing up from 2 baked bean tins and a piece of string.
Okay.
What happens is you speak into it, which wobbles
Yeah.
the diaphragm, which makes a small electrical current, which goes down the cable to another one that you plug into the other end, and then it comes out there. And there's no batteries or anything involved.
So they have those in children's playgrounds.
And when you want to call one at the other end, you move this device, which makes a noise.
Yeah.
Don't work that way.
Yeah,
The sound actually comes out there as I'm doing that.
I've seen those on festival sites and at kids' playgrounds. They're great.
You have to have them on ships. You have to have them on they're a legal requirement on a ship. Because if the ship catches fire, you can still communicate with the engine room without having to
Power.
having to have any external power.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I've got all sorts of.
Can you
junk.
make one of them?
I think it'd be difficult. The tolerances and things on it, I think would be difficult. But Ian's sat there but there's a plate on it. If you want me to do an Allen, so you can sort of have a read of that. I have got another one somewhere, but finding it in amongst all this stuff.
You're going to have colour-coded categories in 4 weeks' time.
Colour-coded categories?
Yeah.
I just file everything under J for junk.
Andy, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ian, yeah.
Yeah. You being a telephone man,
yeah.
You know how to convert a candlestick telephone to make it work on modern systems?
Yes. We did one
Really?
at the Repair Cafe a few months back. We did one.
Yeah.
If you go on the Repair Cafe website, sheffieldrepaircafe.coldpress.net, you'll see some pictures of Emma speaking into one.
Oh, right. I've seen that.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
a candlestick telephone from India Telephone Company.
Oh, right. You've got a fake one then.
Yeah.
That might be different.
It seems to have all the gubbins inside.
Yeah, well, if it's a real candlestick, it doesn't have any gubbins inside. That's the thing. The gubbins would normally be in a box. Hang on.
All right.
The gubbins would normally be in either a wooden box or a Bakelite box that looks something like that.
Right, yes, I've got one of those as well.
You got one? You got one of these? Right.
Yeah,
This is a Bellset 26. This. If I just turn my camera around a minute. This thing here is a Bellset 26. I don't know if you can see that on the back of there. It says 26.
Yes, I see that. Yeah.
What you actually need for a normal candlestick phone is a Bellset 25.
Right.
And there's the difference is, if I can take this apart a minute. Right. Right, let me find a screwdriver that works. This might be different for an India one though, because there might be more gubbins inside the actual phone.
I can't tell you exactly what there is, other than a few wires dangling about that's not connected to anything.
Right, if I take the top off that. The key is there needs to be a thing called an induction coil involved somewhere in it. And this is a Bellset. What did I say this was? Did I say this was a 26?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is a 26. What you need is a 25, because a 25 has got another big coil. It looks a bit like one of those bell coils, but it's bigger. It's about that big.
Right.
And it should sit there. And you can see there's two little mounting holes for it.
Yeah.
But later on, they started putting induction coils inside the actual phone itself, which is why they came out with this Bellset 26 that doesn't have the induction coil in. But candlesticks normally haven't got the induction coil inside it themselves because they're so small, there's no way to put it. So you need one of these with an induction coil, which is a 25. It's exactly the same thing, but it's just got that extra part in there. Yeah. And there's a wooden version as well, which I think is a Bellset 1A or something like that.
We've got a wooden Bellset, which is rigged only to ring the bell. So it rings the bell when the telephone rings. At least it would if it was working. It's one of these myriad things in the house that needs to be repaired. And one of these days I'm going to get it fit up with a digital warbling rubbish and get the bell working again.
Well, if it's just a bell, Gordon, that's quite easy if it's just a bell.
Oh, it's easy to do. It's just getting round to it. The thing works. We can pick the telephone up and it makes a noise. It's just one of those myriad jobs that needs to be done.
Gordon, lockdown is a perfect time, surely.
You'd think,
all these round-trip jobs are done.
You'd think, but to be honest, lockdown, I seem to have been busier than I normally am.
Yeah.
I find more to do than I usually do. I'm looking forward to going out for a rest. I am.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff outdoors because the weather's been so nice. Got all the compost sorted and made up, and my wife's been busy planting up and doing all that sort of stuff.
I've repaired a fence that was blown down in the winter. Then after that, we created a raspberry cane bed. All this time it was too late to get raspberry canes.
Raspberry canes.
Yeah. So that's done ready for next year. And I'm now rewiring an old motorbike,
Oh,
which
right.
has got soaking wet because we've had a downpour.
Oh, you're keeping you busy then.
Oh, yes. Yes. It's only a 1971 bike, but we're going to try and get it back on the road now.
Yeah, why not? That's
Why
probably a
not?
good age for a bike, actually, because it's probably old enough that it's simple to work on, but modern enough you can still get the bit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it means that I don't have to pay any road tax on it.
No, it probably doesn't have to be MOT'd either at 1971, I bet now.
I think still need an MOT, but no road tax.
I think there's a 30-year cut-off now on the MOTs.
I couldn't remember what the cut-off was. I've got a car that doesn't need an MOT.
Yeah, I think.
That's a 1966.
Yeah, I think they've moved the goalposts up a bit because
Yeah,
I've got an L reg. No, it's not. I've an M reg. I've got an M reg Land Rover in the garage, and I believe Series 3, yeah. And I believe that now doesn't need an MOT. If I was to get my finger out and get it on the road again.
Yeah, I've got a 66 MGB Roadster. Obviously, that doesn't need MOT or tax.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't know how to MOT on. If you would take that to an MOT station now, they'd just look at it and go, where do I plug my computer in?
Well, the best one, Andy, I took it for an MOT at Halfords. And yeah, they called me from the waiting room to say, we can't start your car. And I went out, got sat in it. They got the key upside down in the ignition. You know the old keys? And these
Yeah,
just
they were
modern
single-sided,
guys,
weren't they, the keys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was an easy one solved.
Yeah, we used to have that all the time. I used to take buses for Class 6 MOTs. Leyland National buses, if you can remember Yorkshire Terrier in Sheffield, the green and yellow buses.
Yeah.
No, they used to have a big fleet of Leyland Nationals. I didn't take any of theirs, but I took other people's for MOTs. And one of the things about them was they were one of the first buses that had hazard lights, you know, little pull-out thing like you have in your car for hazard lights, because they didn't normally have hazard lights, you know, they weren't a thing in the 60s and that, were the hazard light. And they had this pull-out thing, which is like the ones you get in cars now that light up. But it used to be black and didn't light up. And you'd take the bus for an MOT and they'd fail it on the fact the hazard light switch didn't light up. And it'd say, go back, read your book, because this bus is old enough, it doesn't have to have that lighting up. And they'd argue about it, and you'd like have to go and appeal it, and that the bus company would have to appeal it, and that, and eventually get it overturned and say, no, it was correct, it doesn't have to light up. And used to have loads of trouble like that with the MOT stations trying to impose regulations onto stuff that was exempt because of its age.
Yeah, I've just checked that. The regulations have changed from 1960 to more than 40 years old. So anything before 1980 now, or 1979 and young and older, you don't need an MOT.
Yeah, hang on. Is it an M reg? I think it's a T reg actually. This Land Rover. I don't think it's as old as I thought it were. Yeah, it's a T reg. So what's T? It's T. I think it's just become exempt this last year. T, if I remember right, or it becomes exempt this year. R
I
was
still miss my
76.
Land Rover.
S was 77 or S. Yeah, 78. 78. So I am OT exempt.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
So I miss my Land Rover and my old truck. But there you go. Circumstances change.
Truck. I didn't know you had it. I knew you had a Land Rover. I didn't know you had a truck.
Yeah, I had a Bedford recovery wagon with a Coles crane on it.
A Bedford. Oh my God. What sort of Bedford was that?
It was 1958 ex-military radio wagon, which had the radio cab took off and a crimper on it.
Was it a Bedford O or something, an O type, something like that, similar to a Green Goddess fire engine?
No, it was a bullnose.
It was
wasn't.
one. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what they were called. I'm wanting to say J, a Bedford J type. I don't know if that's right or not.
I've only got one partial photo of it somewhere.
I travelled in one of those once. They came in two sizes. There was a little one that was a bit like a pickup truck, and then there was a bigger version of it. And I know somebody who had both versions, and he went to an event once at some Lido or something somewhere, going down towards London, and we went down the M1 in it. And my ears were bleeding by the time we got there.
This one was a beast machine. It had the equivalent size of combine harvester wheels on it. Straight six, 4.2 litre engine with high and low ratio gearbox.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds like the big one.
Yeah, and if we were lucky, it did 7 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam,
I had.
what was that van called yesterday? What was that Land Rover camper van called? Defender camper van. Yesterday we saw like a Land Rover Defender that had like a caravan top. It was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah, I think they're probably a converted ambulance.
Massive wheels, huge.
Well, because there was the Land Rover forward control, which was actually converted into quite a few camper vans.
Yeah, I like the forward control Land Rovers. I'd have one of those quite happily.
Yeah, a friend of mine had one, and very nice baby truck.
There's a lot of things you can't quite get in the back of a Land Rover. There's a lot. You think a Land Rover is quite big, a normal Land Rover, until you come to put stuff in the back of it through the back door, and then it's amazing the number of things that are just a couple of inches off fitting, and you think if this was
Just
a long
not a
wheelbase one, if this was a long wheelbase one, not a short wheelbase one, that would have gone in. And if it was a forward control one, it would definitely have gone in because you're like sat on the bonnet, aren't you? So the cab, you've got all the cab space free.
Yep.
You know when I went off gallivanting to Peru and Bolivia?
Oh yes.
You guys would have loved some of the vehicles out there. They were so funny. Like literally like half cars like welded together with like deck chairs in. You know.
Sounds about right.
Oh, it was bonkers.
That's called a mini moke. car with deck chairs for seats.
But these are just like total Frankenstein cars. Amazing.
Yeah, Malta used to be like that as well. Malta had some very strange things. But yeah, marvelous. Yeah. Right. Just look how we're doing.
I used my truck. The only, well, it got used for 2 lots of jobs. One was recoveries for the police when I was working for the garage, and the other one was for crushing bricks.
You use your truck for crushing bricks?
Yep. We used to, when we were laying towpaths and stuff, we used to drive it up and down towpaths with its sheer weight, just crushing bricks.
Oh, and rubber tyres?
Yes. Yeah, but it was quite solid, and it was a bit more meaty than anything else we had. But more often than not, it used to spit them out the back wheels.
I can imagine. Yeah, do that. Was this in your canal restoration days?
Yes, yeah, and at the end of. But yes, we did that, and a twin-handled winch crane on the back, so we could actually lift vehicles out of ditches for the police.
How cool is that? Marvelous that. Yeah, there's a guy not far from me who's got an old Land Rover, and he does stuff for the police. You know, and when we get like high winds and trees fall down and that, the police call him out to go and move the tree and things like that.
Yeah, we did, because when I was running the garage project, we used to get the kids come to the project who'd been whatever sanctioned for doing car crime and stuff. So they used to come to see about what damage they'd actually caused by going joyriding and having to repair the cars. But part of that link was then we'd actually go and recover write-offs and different things from ditches and so on with the truck.
Ah, that's interesting. What was I going to say? Oh, I've completely lost my thread. Yeah, it's all right. Somebody else speak a minute. I've completely lost my thread.
We were going to take it on the commercial truck run until we decided to look at how much fuel it was going to take and how much it would cost. So we're chickened out, really.
I did this ear bleeding Bedford. What happened with it? It went on the East Coast run that starts at Beverley and goes to the coast somewhere. We did that with it, except the bloke who owned it wouldn't drive it. So my friend Jana had to go and drive it because she quite liked it, and she was part deaf anyway, so it weren't as loud to her. Which meant I then had to go and drive her Bedford CA camper van to follow it, so that when we got to where we were going on the coast, did he go to Scarborough or somewhere like that? When we got to where we were going on the coast, we'd got the camper van so we could like make lunch and have tea and things.
Bridlington, probably.
It may have been Bridlington, Gordon. Yeah, it was that part of the world somewhere.
What have you done to your video, Andy? Because we've got that square with the letter R in it again.
I just went away for a second because now it's after Easter. Cream eggs are quite cheap, so I'm sat here eating a cream egg. I've been found. Yeah.
So you took your video off. That's what you were doing.
Well, I had to get up for a minute and go and rummage.
Yeah. On seaside resorts, I think you were talking about South Shields. South Shields sounds like the sort of place that would be nice to visit.
Yes.
No, it wasn't South.
No?
There's bigger places. There's South Shields. the place with the funicular tramway, and it's also got one of these little miniature railways that goes as well. Somebody
Bamborough?
Sorry,
Bamborough?
where?
Bamborough?
Flamborough?
Bamborough.
Bamborough. Now, just Google places with funicular railways. There'll only be about 8 or 10.
Are we still planning Repair Cafe road trips? Or just chatting in general? I've lost a thread now.
I think the Repair Cafe road trip. I think me and Gareth have decided that we want to go to the Land of the
Southwold.
Animals Brewery.
Yeah, definitely.
Southwold, yeah.
There's something
Sounds like
so
Gordon would
wonderful
go as
about
well.
those machines.
So,
I'm probably
Very
going to head off and get on with other things, I'm afraid. So I might
Okay.
see you next week, perhaps.
Yeah, we'll be back here next week. Nice to see you, Gareth.
Likewise, thank you. And your phone.
How's your thing coming on that was on your kitchen table last week?
Oh, it's good. It's off the table now. Yep, it's all buttoned up, and most of it works.
What does it actually do, that device in the long run? What's it?
It
Purpose?
it controls a plant growth chamber. So if you're doing sort of scientific type research, or even just trying to breed crops and do it a bit carefully, then you want to have very repeatable, consistent growing conditions. So you need to know that the thing that you're testing in March is actually going to grow exactly the same as something you might want to test in October. So you usually grow them in these funny little boxes with temperature control, humidity control, lighting control. And so that's what it does. It controls all of that, sends it all off to the internet, takes pictures, gets controlled by the internet in turn.
So you can grow your plants at any time of year in basically any location, and they've always got the same amount of light, same amount of heat, same amount of water, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's a basic sort of scientific sort of principle that, you know, if you report that you've got a new treatment for something and it works at such and such, you know, then part of what you include is the conditions that you grow things under. And you know, someone in another country just has to be able just to put those figures into the controls and reproduce the experiment.
Yeah, it's a sort of repeatable environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So I just wonder what it was. I watched the one back from last week, you see, and you've got it there on the table, and you know, before you put it in the box and things, I thought, what does that actually do? I was trying to work it out what it actually did. Well, cool.
Saltburn, Andy.
The main thing I've been doing the last week is a website for my daughter's birthday. So if you fancy a look, you can look at happybirthdayflow.com.
Happybirthdayflow.com. We shall do that later when I'm back in front of my computer.
Yeah.
I'm sat here just with my phone sort of sideways at the minute and doing this. But yeah, happybirthdayflow.com. We'll do that. It'll get a lot of hits now because people watch this back after the event on YouTube.
Yeah, it could go viral.
Yeah, it might go viral. Cool, excellent.
Well,
Right. We will see you soon then, Gareth.
Yeah, see you next week probably if it's on.
See you next week. Cheers. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Alan, you were spot on with Saltburn. That is the place.
That was Google. Bye, Gareth.
Yeah, Saltburn by the sea.
My tummy's rumbling, and I'm going to go and have some lunch and say goodbye to you all. Nice chatting again.
It must be getting near lunchtime. Yeah, I think it probably is time.
It's 1 o'clock.
We adjourned for lunch. Yeah. Oh, it's time we adjourn for lunch then. Definitely. Right. We'll see you all again. Hopefully next month.
Next week.
Next week. Yeah. All right.
Cheers,
Cheers,
then. Bye.
You've got to look at this website when you get off. It's fantastic.
Will do. Yep.
Is that happybirthdayflow.com?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
very
looking
cute.
as well. Yeah. Well, cheers, folks.
See you, Gordon. See you next week.
Hi, Gordon.
Cheers.
I'll be saying goodbye as well.
Oh,
Nice to see
Ian's there as well, although he's not come up visually. Right, we'll see you soon, Ian. If you
Okay,
Ian,
thanks, Andy.
are you on Ian? Are you on the
What's
WhatsApp
that?
group?
No. You blocked for some reason.
Can we
Oh,
get him on the WhatsApp group, Jess?
Yeah. Do you have WhatsApp?
Personally, no. My wife
Is your
does, I
wife?
think. Jackie, this is coming. She comes when called. Have we got WhatsApp?
I have on my phone, yeah. Do you have it on yours, love? Do you have it on the phone?
Here you are. Here's the woman who knows. Well, Jess,
Hello
you've locked
again.
up now.
No, I've WhatsApp on my phone, but Ian has a very old phone.
So, would you mind being connected to our Repair Cafe WhatsApp groups so that we can communicate with you and Ian? It is totally fine not to be. It's mostly repairing chit chat, but also sometimes general chit chat.
Yes, that's not a problem. You need my phone number, don't you?
I do, and I can add you.
Oh, I can tell you a phone.
Yeah, but I need that one as well.
Right.
Right, you can remember my number and I'll have your number.
Right. Well,
Telephone number.
before you do it, Jackie, I'm just going to I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just going to officially sign off for the purposes of YouTube and whatnot. Then the bit with your phone number in won't sort of get recorded.
Oh, yeah.
Or anything.
Good thing to
So-
do.
That's a good idea.
So for the purposes of YouTube and stuff, we'll see everybody same time, same place next week.
Ta-ra for now.
Okay.